Well, let's check obituaries now, brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg for pre-need funerals, burials, and cremations since 1975. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. In obituary news this morning, James W. Boo Boo Howard, age 64, of Sylacauga, died Monday at his residence. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, will announce the funeral arrangements. Ms. Mary Moats died in Opelika this morning. Curtis & Son Funeral Home will announce the arrangements. And Patsy Baker died in Sylacauga on Monday. Curtis & Son Funeral Home will announce the funeral arrangements. Graveside service for Otis R. Allred, age 78, of Sylacauga. That graveside service is today at 2 o'clock from Harpersville City Cemetery. Online condolences at curtissonsonfunerals.com. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel, directing. Funeral service for Travis E. Isabel, age 76, of Sylacauga, is today at 2 p.m. from Estelle Community Church with Reverend Mark Deason officiating. Burial in the adjoining cemetery in Wagufka. Mr. Isabel died January the 20th. Visitation is 10 until 2 today at the church. Radley Smith Funeral Home, Sylacauga, directing. Funeral service for Sandra Sissy Williams Cooper, age 58, will be Wednesday at 2 o'clock from Estelle Community Church with Reverend Mark Deason officiating. Burial in the Midway Memory Gardens in Talladega. Mrs. Cooper died January 21st at Coosa Valley Medical Center. Visitation Wednesday, noon until 2 at the church. In lieu of flowers, contribution can be made to the Humane Society. Radley Smith Funeral Home, Sylacauga, directing. Funeral service for Brenda Jones Owsley, age 73, of Sylacauga, will be Wednesday at noon from First Baptist Church of Sylacauga with the Reverend Derek Owsley officiating. Burial 3 o'clock in the Alpine Cemetery in Plantersville, Alabama. That's in Chilton County. Mrs. Owsley died Sunday, January 23rd at Grandview Medical Center. Visitation on Wednesday, 10 until noon at the church. Radley Smith Funeral Home, Sylacauga, directing. Larry Poppy Wayne Manus, age 83, of Sylacauga, died January 22nd. Visitation for Larry will be Wednesday from 5 till 8 o'clock at Radley Smith Funeral Home. Funeral service on Thursday at 2 o'clock from Radley Smith with Reverend Paul Vick and Brother David Vick officiating. Burial in the Fayetteville Cemetery in Fayetteville, Alabama. Flowers will be accepted or contribution in Poppy's memory may be made to the Fayetteville Volunteer Fire Department in Sylacauga. Radley Smith Funeral Home, directing. Mr. Harold Jacobs, age 82, died January 17th. And he graduate of Goodwater High School, and for 25 years he was employed by the Talladega County School System as a high school principal, teacher, football coach, and media director. He was also owner of Jacobs Garden Center in Talladega and a member of the Lincoln Baptist Church. Funeral service will be held today at 2 o'clock from Ursery Funeral Home in Talladega. Visitation prior to the service, 1 until 2. Ursery Funeral Home in Talladega in charge of the arrangements. And Joseph Blue Nathaniel Crosby, age 39, died Saturday. The family will receive friends Thursday, January 27th at Talladega Funeral Home at 1 o'clock. And a memorial service will follow. In lieu of flowers, the family asked donation be made to PETA, Talladega Funeral Home, directing. Margie L. Turner, age 82, of Munford, died Saturday, January the 22nd. S.M. Goodson Funeral Home, Crematory, Talladega, directing. And funeral arrangements will be announced for Catherine Twyman, age 98, who passed away Sunday, January 23rd. S.M. Goodson Funeral Home and Crematory in Talladega in charge of the arrangements. That's a look at obituaries this morning, brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. for pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.